See the sign here, it says God is pro-life. What does that mean?
God is pro-life?
Yeah.
That's just what it means, yes. God created life.
Didn't God kill everybody on earth except for Noah and some farm animals on an ark?
I'm sorry.
Didn't God kill everybody on earth?
This video is a perfect example of how conservative arguments crumble at the slightest bit of pushback.
So tell me about the shirt you've got on here.
It's one I found on the internet.
The flag is kind of in tatters and everything, and then it's kind of over the Constitution and all that.
Yes.
Would you say you're strongly against desecrating the flag?
Extremely, yes.
Here we go again.
Would you say you're strongly against desecrating the flag?
Extremely, yes. So
Not your style.
no, not at all. I mean, unfortunately, they have the right to do that, but
Yeah.
I would never do that to a flag. So, but
I'm Ravana, and welcome back to Rebel HQ. I would never desecrate the American flag, he says, while wearing a shirt with an eagle bursting through the flag. Although I will say I do love this moment at the end where it looks like maybe, just maybe, he's realizing that he's saying something hypocritical. And technically, according to United States flag code, you're not even really supposed to wear the flag on clothing. Flag code states that the flag should never be used as wearing apparel, bedding, or drapery. Now, you could argue that that's not a real flag, it's just an image of a flag on a shirt, and usually I would be really sympathetic to that argument. However, when it comes to this specific shirt, you're just not going to be able to convince me that this is a respectful way to depict the United States flag.
See the sign here, it says God is pro-life. What does that mean?
God is pro-life?
Yeah.
That's just what it means, yes.
Of course, the man in the video refutes this by using the example of Noah's Ark, but that's actually not the only instance in the Bible that you can turn to show how not pro-life God really is. At least not in the sense that conservatives mean pro-life, anti-abortion. Although the word abortion is never used in the Bible, abortions have existed since ancient times, and in fact, in the book of Numbers, there's a description of a priest performing an abortion on a woman in no uncertain terms. The book of Exodus also describes an incident where a pregnant woman jumps in to break up a fight between her husband and another man, and in doing so, she suffers injuries. Now, the punishment to the man for causing her injuries is severe, but the punishment for causing her to have a miscarriage is only a fine. So even the Bible values the life of a pregnant woman more so than it does a fetus. It's absolutely not true that God is, without a shadow of a doubt, pro-life, but what is true is
conservatives are morons and we don't know what we're talking about.
So what about with all those babies that God killed at Passover?
Babies that God killed at Passover.
Their firstborn sons, you know?
Yeah, they were killed for a reason, to make Pharaoh wake up and realize
God could have just killed Pharaoh. He could have just killed Pharaoh.
No.
Why not?
Because he needed to teach Pharaoh a lesson.
Now, truly, few things are more hilarious than when super religious people try to use their religious doctrine to justify actions of either war, murder, or in this case, protecting life. So when he asks, well, what about the Passover? Like, oh, well, that was for a reason. Pharaoh needed to get his head out of the sand. Pharaoh, he didn't want to let go of the Hebrew slaves. So, God, he came and he killed thousands of babies because, that's what it's all about. You got to put the blood over your door so that your firstborn son doesn't die. Because God is a vengeful God. And if you're not in his special, clique of people, if you're not Jewish or well, now Christian, because the Hebrew faith is no longer valid because Jesus came into the world and died for our sins. So now that the Hebrew path, that's not good enough. Now it's all about the Christian path, right? It's so ridiculous. And then of course, the people who are super religious tend to know the least about their doctrine.
So children had to die so that Pharaoh could learn a lesson.
The people who were not believers in him,
Yeah.
yes.
So God's willing to sacrifice children.
Whatever happens to their children.
I mean, the Bible is riddled with insane rules and insane laws. And ultimately, people just cherry pick and choose what they want to do. You know, like the same type of people, for instance, who are always going ham on the LGBTQ community. Oh, turns out they're gay. You know, like this senator who he wasn't just gay, he was super gay. He had so much sex drive for men that he had to screw them in airport bathrooms. He couldn't wait to get home. He couldn't wait to get to a hotel. It's like God hates gay people. And that message is coming from somebody who, again, they're not gay, they're super gay. Or, you know, people who are like, you know, abortions are bad. Well, in the Bible, it doesn't specifically say you should never, ever get an abortion. But, you know, the same people who are always saying, God hates abortions. Oh, what do you know? Now their mistress has an abortion. It's so stupid.